Instagram, nobody here. I am about to do a demonstration on how to use Lumiere Lusters, the mica-based dichroic that's now available through Jet Age Studios or Mountain Glass Arts. We're going to punch a hole in the 44x4, then we're going to attach a blow tube. Once we attach the blow tube, we're going to put this whole thing, blow tube and all, in the kiln. Now the reason we're going to do that is to burn out the condensation inside the tube. If we don't burn out the condensation when we dump the dichroic into it, the Lumiere Lusters, it will just stick to the condensation and not fall into the tube. So it's going to take just a minute to tear this tube in half. I'm working at a lower flame than I normally would so you can hear me. Okay, now we've torn the tube in half. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this tube, we're going to clean off the end so it's nice and smooth. That will help later on. Nice and smooth. Now we're going to put this whole tube in the kiln. And we're going to let it sit there for a minute. Some important things to know when you're using your lusters: don't have a fan blowing directly on you. Be very careful when you're using them because they're not a powdery substance. They're more of a flaky, but they still float on air substance. We're going to take our Lumiere Lusters. We're going to set them here on the bench. The only fan that I have going right now is the ventilation fan. We're going to pick a color. We are going to use a color called Blue Thunder. That's Blue Thunder.
Oh,
Lumiere
very
Lusters.
nice.
It's going to take a few minutes for this all to get done. We're going to take that tube of glass out of the kiln at least long enough to let the blow tube cool off. We're not going to take the big pod out, just the blow tube. Here, I'll go ahead and bring you with me so you can see that happen. We're going to pull the blow tube out, and we're going to leave the pod sit in there. We had some others that I did earlier. Now, these are hot, so do not touch them. That's why I pulled them out with a pair of tweezers. Right now, these are at 1100 degrees. In just a moment, they'll be cool enough for me to touch. As soon as they are, I'll bring them over here. I'll turn on the torch, and I will show you how I add Lumiere Lusters to my work. This is not how everyone does it. This is just how I do it. Now we're going to heat up the tube. We're going to take a pair of tweezers that have very thin heads on them. We're going to pinch a little bit of Lumiere Luster. I'll put this in the camera so you can see this. We're going to pinch a little bit of the luster. We're going to put it right inside the tube, and we're going to let it go. Might have to work the tweezers around a little bit to get it to let it go. Now we're going to do that again. Another little pinch of nitro right into the tube. Now that we've done that, we're going to take a blast of air. You do lose a little bit of dichro by doing this. After you've done that, turn the tube sideways and start rolling it just like you would normally when you're working it. As you're rolling it, heat it in the fire so that the dichroic will stick to the side of the glass. The Lumiere Lusters. After that's done, you should have a nice coated piece of glass. Then you're going to gently heat up only the front. I'm only heating up the front of this tube. Now once you do that, slowly blow it into a thin ball. Now the reason you're going to do that is that if you don't and you ream it open, you're going to wipe out some of the luster. So now you have this thin ball, then you take your trash bucket and dump it into your trash bucket. After you do that, that's what you should have. Then you bring it into the flame and you melt off those crooked edges. Now you can sleeve this or you can stuff and puff it. But this is ready to go. I hope this demonstration helps you out. Lumiere Luster's Jet 8 Studios.